Hey everybody, so I'm back with another video. This is the Leah video diaries. This is gonna be episode, I think 12, or whatever episode number it is at this point. Just doing a quick little vlog. I went out earlier this afternoon to go to the movies to see the new film Keke Palmer and SZA called One of Them Days. And I will say it was a pretty good comedy. It was more like a softball comedy, but it was really cool. A simple plot, kind of similar to the original movie Friday, which I've yet to see. Don't judge me. But yeah, simple plot. Keke Palmer says that they star as Alyssa and Drew. Basically, Drew has aspirations to become a franchise manager. It's the first of the month. They are late. They're late on rent, and their landlord Uche wants the money at 6 initially. So they spend the entire day getting into very crazy random situations trying to get the rent money. At some point, they have some hope. Alyssa finds some Jordans on the power line. Kind of reminds me of Like Mike, that movie. She gets electrocuted. They end up in the ambulance. She jump out the ambulance and try to make a run for it just to get the money to Uche in time. Fast forward like halfway through the movie, they're about to get evicted, but Uche, their stuff is out in the middle of the street. Uche gives them, I guess, an extended timeline till about almost midnight to get the money. And then lo and behold, they end up actually getting a call from this mob boss type of guy named Lolo, and apparently that's his Jordans, that's his J's. This is after Alyssa and Drew get into an argument. After Drew's interview was basically ruined by a fight between her, Alyssa, and the neighborhood bully Bernice, who very intimidating and doesn't give a flying fajita about what anybody thinks of her. Oh, also, I'm trying to think of the other character in the movie. Another character was Alyssa's boyfriend, Keyshawn, who basically is jobless and is good for nothing. Eventually, Alyssa kicks him to the curb at the end after she realizes her worth. But yeah, Alyssa and Drew get into trouble with, actually, Lolo, let me go back. Lolo, he wants $5,000 basically for the Jordans by, I think, 10 in the evening or 11, one of those times, which is around the same time that the rent money is due. Eventually, they go back to their apartment, or what remains of their apartment. What happens? They try to brainstorm a way to get the money. Eventually, they run into Beth, who's the new white girl, the new white neighbor. She's pretty nice, has a dog named Scooter. I think either Drew or Alyssa, they have the idea to sell Alyssa's paintings, because Alyssa's an artist, she's a painter, she's also into the hippie, bohemian, earth girl type of lifestyle, which is cool. I can respect that, because I'm kind of similar. And so they get the idea to sell Alyssa's paintings. They have this little pop-up art show kind of party vibe going on at the apartment complex, which turns out to be a success. Apparently, Bethany has friends, a lot of hipster friends that are very loaded with money, and they were able to raise about $5,200 to give to Lolo. Eventually, Lolo and his goons show up with a gun, of course. Lolo threatens them, to give him the money. Alyssa stalls Lolo, and I think Keke Palmer, Keke, her character, they run off. Eventually, Lolo goes after both of them, looking for them. Eventually, they basically were able to kind of, they lost him. They didn't get caught by him. They went back to their apartment. Apparently, there's candles. Keyshawn lit candles in their apartment. I don't know exactly why they did that. He did that. Eventually, Lolo catches them, and then he gets hit in the head by, the I don't know what it's called. Something in the ceiling. I'll call it the plaster of the ceiling. A piece of the plaster of the ceiling hits Lily, gets knocked unconscious. Eventually, the apartment catches on fire. Alyssa, and Keyshawn, they try to put out the fire. They get trapped inside of a small room to kind of, stave off the fire. Apparently, Alyssa and Drew, they start apologizing to each other, even though, they're both still rightfully so mad at each other for whatever personal reasons. They end up having, a heartfelt moment. Keyshawn tries to join, which is kind of awkward because he's annoying. He hasn't really done anything helpful throughout the entire movie other than, team up with Bernice to, catch Drew and Alyssa. Eventually, they're able to escape the fire, and they're rescued by the firefighters. They stave off the fire. The apartment is damaged, but, there's nothing that a little remodeling can do. After they're rescued, Drew's character discovers that, what's his name? Her love interest, Maniac, that's his name. I saw him in the first part of the movie when he was coming to Mama Ruth's apartment/convenience store, and he and Drew had kind of a love at first sight type of moment. It was so cute. He was very attractive, 11 out of 10 on the attractability scale. Apparently, he is a firefighter, and then fast forward, Lila gets arrested. Keyshawn, I guess, hooks up with Bethany. Alyssa realizes her worth and breaks up with Keyshawn for good. They were able to get the money to pay, the rent to Uche. Uche apparently violated a lot of fire safety hazard laws, and, Maniac goes to deal with him regarding that. What else happens at the end? Maniac kind of tells Drew kind of the backstory of how he, became a firefighter. He was in juvie, then he was transferred to the fire academy, and that's what he's been doing ever since. It was pretty dope. And then, everybody's happy. Mama Ruth agrees to take Alyssa and Drew in, to live with them for a while, and obviously to work for them, to make money and stuff. Towards the end, we kind of get a montage in the life update for each of the characters. Everybody, I guess, has good things going on in their life. Each character has a different, going through a different period in their life. Drew finds success. Liz finds success with her art. Drew finds success with management. And the other side characters get, their moment about where they are in life. And it was a pretty, cool movie. I wouldn't say, the comedy was, explicit. I mean, my camera went off. But basically because I had an alarm. Basically before my camera went off, I was just talking about the life update stage the characters were going through in the movie. At the end of the movie, they do a montage of what the characters were up to and things like that, and some of them were funny. Some of them were pretty celebratory. Drew was able to get her dream as a franchise manager. Alyssa was able to have success with her art. I can't remember what the other characters I went through, but there were a lot of cameo appearances. Tony Baker, you worked with Kev on stage. Shout out to them. I used to follow them. I've been following them since high school. Their comedy's funny. They're doing it big. Obviously, SZA, in her first acting debut, she killed it. Literally, she basically played herself on screen because, I think I've heard SZA's speaking voice, and she's pretty much chill person. Keke Palmer, obviously, been following since I was a child, since Q and the B. She's always been that girl. She's always been consistent, always working, always in somebody else's film. But yeah, the movie, like I said, it I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this type of movie, it's kind of gives a Johnson Film Vacation vibe. Some you could watch maybe with the older kids, not the younger ones, obviously, no. But obviously it kind of gives a family type of vibe. I mean, and also it's produced by Issa Rae. I didn't realize it, but they did pretty good, considering. Like, it was a pretty good movie. I would definitely watch it again. This time I would make sure to, go with a friend, just to kind of have, get into that comedic spirit. We can kind of like give our own little commentary. But it was good. It really was good. I mean, I didn't really laugh. I mainly watched just to kind of follow the plot. Like, there were people that was like, ooh, and oh. Some parts were over the top, obviously. The typical stereotypes and things like that. At the same time, the casting was really good. It really captured, the life. It was definitely very down to earth. But yeah, everybody did good. It was a good movie. I would definitely watch it again. It has a kind of a feel-good buddy comedy to it. It's kind of like a relatability. If there's ever like a sequel, I could see it, kind of being like getting the recognition like the Friday franchise. Like, getting maybe a sequel, because it would be cool to have a life of be like, okay, what happened since Drew was able to become a franchise manager? What's Alyssa been up to with their art? What's the relationship status between Maniac and Drew? Like, come on. I want to see a sequel personally. They did a really good job, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I really wanted to see out of curiosity because, people were talking about it. I started watching the different, reviews just to kind of get a sense of it. And this is my review basically. After I saw the movie, basically went to the grocery store, wanted to get the plan was to get some fruit, vegetable, and butter really, and I ended up getting some brownie mix. I wanted to go to the Dollar Tree to like get a proper brownie baking pan, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stress about it. I'm trying my best to really save my coins, because one thing about living in Houston, there's only a store everywhere, and if you don't have that certain control over your money and your finances, you will literally probably like blow out your entire bank account trying to get something from these high-end stores, because there's a lot of stores on every corner. One thing I found out, and knowing me, I'm trying to get out of that excessive spending habit. It is very tempting to be in certain stores for a certain amount of time, getting things that you don't really need to get, but because of that pressure, because of the temptation and the aesthetic of the stores and the city, you feel tempted and pressured to buy anything, things that you really don't need. And so I'm trying to kind of get myself back to that mindset that, before I even came to Houston, like, okay, I'm trying to get this mindset where I have everything that I need. I don't have to, I don't have to excessively buy for the sake of buying, because I feel like that's what I've kind of been doing since I've been here. And I'm trying to get a job. Crossing my fingers I get this interview, the second interview for this priest position. I'm in an accelerated nursing program, and realistically, I've actually been applying to different hospital jobs as well. I haven't gotten the response that I wanted. Been getting a lot of no's, and so I'm starting, to kind of consider, I think it would be kind of wise to, have a retail job right now, because that's kind of what my experience has been like, retail. At least for right now, until, the actual nursing job comes. Because this is an accelerated program. I've been for about a year. I only really have a year to get what would take about 4 years worth of, course information into 1 year. And so I'm going to really buckle down. I think realistically, it's best to work in a retail position now. Even though I have been applying to hospital jobs, I have been trying to apply to jobs that are similar to what I did prior to coming back to school. So I'm going to be hitting the books. I'm going to try to upload as much as I can, but realistically, given my study schedule and what I'm trying to do, the uploads are obviously going to be twice a month, bi-weekly, because that's really all I can really do. And yeah, we're going to try to be more consistent. But that was pretty much my day. I really want to do some thrifting this afternoon, but because of the study schedule that I'm trying to put myself on and the discipline, that's going to be another day. I can thrift anytime. I'm going to wait till I also get my job to, have time to do a little thrifting, because even with these, clothing stores and these high-end clothing stores, I've never really was into that. when I look back now, I was just more into like clothes, like basic clothes. Like I just need something, a staple in my wardrobe that I can wear year after year. Not something that's just too flashy and trendy for a season. I've learned as I got older, like I want like pieces in my wardrobe that I can wear continuously regardless of what season or fashion type the clothing is. So that's kind of who I am. And I'm trying to get myself into this mindset where I'm living below my means, because when you're living above your means, you're basically losing money and you're trying to impress people that really don't care. But yeah, that was basically my Saturday. It was pretty chill. I spent the first half of the day doing some work and I'm about to get back into doing more work. So I can stay on track, because let me show y'all my schedule. I'm telling you. And I've actually been pretty good with it. Obviously, there have been a few exceptions where I felt like I was off with my schedule, but I've actually kind of been on target with it. Let me show y'all the schedule that I made on Google Calendar and on Notion. This is on my iPad, by the way. Let's see. I'm going to do, let's do a month. Should do that. Waiting for it to load. So this is, actually, I'm just going to do a week. I'm going to give you guys like a weekly schedule. This is ideally what my week is supposed to look like. It's kind of bright, so I'm going to try to. This is ideally what my week is supposed to be like, and some days it is, some days it's not, but I'm also learning to not stress out if my schedule doesn't go the way that I want it to, because I can't tell how many times I've made a schedule and I have had a hard time sticking with it because a lot of inconveniences have come up, or I get easily distracted. The whole purpose of me making a schedule is because I know I can get easily distracted. So I'm just learning to not get upset if my schedule gets off course. It's really not really off course, because somehow I still manage to kind of fall back in line with it, if that makes sense. So I've actually been pretty good with it. I know once the nursing classes start, I'm going to have to slightly change things around, given the time crunch that I'll be in, but I'm feeling really excited. Another thing I'm learning right now, and we're like 3 weeks into the new year, is the importance of community. I want to, take a moment to kind of talk about recently the inauguration. I did not watch it. I know I saw glimpses of it. I think a few of my roommates were watching it. I didn't. I saw like some recaps online, but I didn't do that. I didn't acknowledge the inauguration. I focused on Dr. King. It was the holiday. His birthday was actually, look at the calendar, it was actually on the 15th. But I treated Monday, the 20th of January, as an acknowledgement for King, Dr. King. And I didn't pay any mind to the inauguration. I didn't, because it literally felt like 2020 all over again. Because in 2020, and I noticed some weird parallels. In 2020, Trump was president when COVID came, and his administration didn't really know how to handle it. Fast forward, we're on the cusp of another possible pandemic. I think it's the bird flu. I think the first human case was in Louisiana, which was last month. And that was reminiscent of the first COVID case being, I think, in China, back in December 2019. So literally we're kind of like a deja vu moment. Like, okay, we've been in this situation before. With COVID, so we're kind of back in the same boat with the bird flu. And then recently they rolled back the DEI initiatives for Target and Walmart and them places, and I'm not gonna lie, I was considering not shopping there anymore, given the fact that they rolled back those programs. But there are still some businesses. I just came back from watching a video from Tabitha Brown. I call her Auntie Tab, my internet auntie, and she was basically giving her thoughts about it. Her thoughts from business owner perspective, and her, sympathizing with, our frustrations, those of us that support her. I personally haven't really bought any products that I'm kind of bad about it. But I know that I'm going to take her advice and basically still shop at those stores, but specifically for the brands that I want to support, which is hers and whatever Black creative brands that are there, Black owned business brands that are there. And basically this whole DEI thing and this inauguration thing has woken me up and made me realize the importance of really acknowledging and celebrating, you know, our culture and having a deeper appreciation for my community, my heritage. I'm not gonna be real with you. There in the past few years, I've kind of side-eyed my community. I'd ever get bombastic side to the shenanigans of the Black community, in the direction that we're going, the bad direction. But 2025 is definitely something different. I'm definitely going to support my Black-owned businesses. I'm definitely going to work on building a deeper connection to my culture and my community, because this is my reality. I am a Black female. There's still some issues in our community that, you know, are still dividing us. Politics, conservative Blacks, liberal Blacks, in the middle Blacks. We're still dealing with colorism. Look at me, I'm a chocolate girl. And, you know, the darkies were kind of the last in the dating totem pole and social, you know, ladder and things of that sort. So there's a lot of internal issues within the Black community that, you know, I'm still gonna have to learn how to navigate, because now it's getting real, and then having to, you know, deal with different culture in Houston, which is pretty multicultural. It's not that different from home, and I'm gonna, you know, do that in another blog. But a lot of these things, 2025 is definitely going to be a year of reckoning and waking up. And most importantly, I want to be able to grow closer to God as well in 2025. I literally just bought two, inadvertently, King James versions, new King James versions of, you know, the Bible. Because, you know, I met this lady, this older, you know, seasoned believer. She basically evangelized to me. And, you know, the conversation that we had, this was about a couple weeks back. This is when I, you know, was still getting adjusted to, you know, living in Houston. And I was just trying to shop around, trying to make sure I have enough things and buy enough things. And, you know, we just had a conversation for almost an hour probably, you know, about God and my view of Him. And basically how I viewed God, and how I read the Bible was from an academic perspective. And I wasn't, you know, reading from a place of, you know, with a spiritual mindset. And it's because of, you know, my tendencies were in office and my upbringing. And it changed my perspective. One thing she said to me, and I want to try to reconnect with her. She mentioned to me that she said, hey, you know, read your Bible before you join any church and jump on any, I'm just paraphrasing what she told me, before you jump on any church and jump on any bandwagon or ideology that they may try to push on you and then force on you. Read your Bible. Even if you miss a few days, it's okay. If you read a verse a day, that's fine. If you don't understand it, go back and read it again. Just keep reading it. So that really changed my perspective, and it made me want to get more into reading the Bible and really getting to know God. And one thing she said to me, you know, that really resonated with me was that, hey, you know, all I can offer really is friendship. Not friendship, well, friendship, but fellowship. And, you know, God, he's trying to court me. You know, she's like, God is trying to court you. Like, he's there. You know he's there. You know, you have a sense of what, you know, he needs you to do. But, you know, you got to be willing to, how do you say it when a guy's courting you? You got to be willing to be part of the courtship, I guess. I'm just perfect what she told me, the advice she gave me. It really stuck out to me. Since living in Houston, and I'm going to talk about extensively in another video, but living in Houston has been definitely an experience. It's definitely changed my life, and I really need community. That's one thing I've learned so far, is that I really need community. I have a lot of Google amount of cousins that live not only in Houston but in the surrounding areas. Some in Austin. I found out recently, obviously, an aunt in San Antonio, one in College Station, and one in Katy, and one in a few other relatives like over in the southern part of Texas. So I literally have cousins everywhere and resources, and that's one thing that I'm learning, the importance of having community. I've also done some reflecting on my communication styles and my tendencies and things that I'm still trying to work on, that I'm going to have to explore with more counseling and therapy. I mean, I'm going back to therapy, but I'm gonna have to take a break from BetterHelp for a while, because obviously with the way their rates are. Thankfully with my school there are free counseling sessions that I would take advantage of, just to kind of explore and get to the nitty gritty of why I act the way that I do and how I view the world. I've actually been counseling since my freshman year of college, on and off again. But I'm gonna get back into it so I can kind of, develop strategies to, become a better version of myself, and to also find ways to be healed and to be happy. But yeah, so I'm sorry, this was a very long video. I did a review and then I started talking about my life story in the government, so many wide range of topics. But if this resonated with you, hey, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, follow me on my socials. That will be linked all below. My business email will also be linked below if you are interested in business inquiries, I want to do any collabs or anything. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Leah Video Diaries, episode 12. See y'all in the next episode.